Thank you for doing this again. I just wondered if you might fill us in on your background and how you wound up in St. Michael's
Well,
and
I wound up in St. Michael's when my mom and I moved here in 1989, and I grew up in St. Michael's, which is a unique backstory amongst the other candidates. I'm actually the only from here local in
oh,
the race, despite there being seven candidates, which might tell you something about how St. Michael's has changed over the years in of itself. Um, Yes. I'm 40 years old now. I turned 40 last week, which also makes me the youngest candidate in the race. However, at that same token, because of my background of having grown up in St. Michael's, gone to St. Michael's High School, got a high school diploma and all that, I'm actually the oldest in town years as well. So I'm the youngest and simultaneously the oldest. So yes, I graduated in class of 2002. I have a music background. I went to UMass Amherst for a bachelor's degree in music performance, and then I went abroad to Australia to the University of Tasmania for my master's degree in music composition.
oh,
From there, I was a music English teacher in South Korea, and then I went to Thailand. I eventually had to move back to St. Michael's around 2016 to take care of my mom. And, I was her caregiver until her eventual passing. My mom also is formerly a town commissioner as well. Yeah, so that's another unique thing about my backstory. Um, yeah, I'm still a composer. I still contribute music to my friend's firm in Australia. And I'm an airport chauffeur, like part-time, 15 hours a week. So that's the other thing that I do.
So it is interesting when people decide that they want to have a role in civic affairs. And I guess the question to you is what triggered you to run for office? You said that your mother had been a commissioner, but there must have been other factors that said this was your time to run.
So a couple of the unique demographic categories that I have, like I said, I'm the only millennial in the race. Being a from here, having a parent formerly on the commission are definitely unique things amongst the other candidates. Um, um, the locals have perspective on things that I think some of the people who have moved here in recent times don't appreciate so much, and I feel like that those viewpoints aren't as acknowledged. In particular, like a thing that I would say has changed very much from when I was a kid is that St. Michael's has become a town for cars. It's become unwalkable. It's not just unwalkable, it's actually hostile to pedestrians in many contexts. And this is one of the pathways that I don't like that St. Michael's has gone down.
Hmm.
Um, which is why, as commissioner, I'm really trying to emphasize and expand pedestrian infrastructures, putting trash cans, dog stations into parts of town that are lacking them.
Hmm.
I have some proposals about our streetlights. I'm interested in some city appropriate motion sensor technologies for some of our streetlights to reduce light pollution, reduce carbon dioxide pollution, as well as relieve many of the residents of the blight that the streetlights have to their properties.
This is an interesting thing about this election, and probably St. Michael's, since I've been watching it, is there's a growing kind of separation of opinion between St. Michael's and the quality of life in a small, relatively rural community, and the business end of tourism, and that St. Michael's exists because of tourism, and therefore we need to invest more and attract more tourists. Where do you sit on that kind of issue?
Yes, there's definitely coalitions in town of anti-business or pro-business residents. My contention, the issue that's at the bottom of this is our low accommodations tax. We currently have the lowest accommodations tax in Maryland at 4%, and we have refused to raise it on more than one occasion up to the state standard of 6%. Every town in Maryland has an advertising budget, a tourism budget. Um, we pay our tourism budget more for our general fund, and also our accommodations tax is paid it goes into our general fund as well, which is abnormal for Maryland. Most of the other towns, from what I understand, use their accommodations tax to subsidize their tourism budget. So my proposal is that we raise up to the state standard of 6% and use some of those funds to pad our tourism budget, which is currently lacking.
So the other thing that has come up recently is a pretty spirited debate about what level of contribution the Chesapeake Bay Maritime Museum contributes to the town. Friends of the museum state that the institution is giving quite a bit already. Others believe that they should be putting more into the annual operating budget of the town. What's your thought?
The thing that makes these issues more painful for the town is the town doesn't currently have a way of monetizing off of the population bloom that these events at the Maritime Museum or Wine Fest this weekend, Sea Glass Festival last weekend bring. For example, currently we offer free parking universally throughout town. Um, we have a low accommodations tax. We're not doing, a town sales tax, a tourism fee for restaurants, retail, Airbnb, so on and so forth. So the reason that these issues, like towards the Maritime Museum or the festival fees, for example, get looked at under the microscope so intensely is because the town isn't monetizing in other ways that it should be.
Hmm.
Um, the issue with the Maritime Museum acquiring Crab Claw and the Patriot, the town has lost about 41,000 in tax revenue from those two acquisitions by the Maritime Museum. I think that there is some legitimate argument to pursue a pilot for about that amount. Although, as I said, I think the town should be primarily focused on monetizing in other ways that it's not.
Could you help viewers and explain what a pilot program is?
It's a payment in lieu of taxes, is what it stands for in short. So it would be a one-time yearly payment. It might be yearly of the loss of something. So in this case, the crab claw and the Patriot.
The other thing that has popped up recently in Oxford and now in Cambridge are questions about transparency
Hmm.
and the need for municipalities to be responsive to citizen requests for information. How do you think St. Michael's is doing in that department?
Um, we have a pretty good direct democracy, in terms of our elections. I do think, well, a common thing that I have reported to me in my canvassing for my campaign is that people do report that there's kind of an impersonal or icy vibe with the commissioners, and I can kind of see that. So that's why I'm proposing that we put a survey system into our Newtown website. And we've actually already done this before in other capacities. For example, we did purchase the environmental concern property in recent times, and which is becoming San Domingo Park at the moment. The developer for that, Mayhan Rikio, put a survey into our website to elicit public feedback as to what sort of infrastructures they would like to see in the park. We
Mhm.
can absolutely do the same thing, but as a town. So, for example, once a year, or we can also do this for special events, the commission, as well as all the different boards, do a 4 or 5 question survey that the public can complete. They can go onto the town website, do the surveys. We collect all the data centrally at the town office, and then we can discuss the implications of the findings. This will help with accountability, with transparency, and guide the governance of all the different boards and commissions in St. Michael's, and make the public feel like their voice is being heard, not just in the public comment at the commissioner meetings. So.
This has been terrific. I do want to save time for you to talk about things that we haven't brought up that you feel like you want to make sure that the community knows about, the priorities you have, or things that you want to get done if you're elected.
Um, Yes, I mean, those are my three big policy platforms: surveys, expanding pedestrian infrastructure, seeking um, alternate income pathways, and I have a whole list of things that we can do for that. Um, as I was stating earlier about the discord between residents and businesses, I do feel like that the accommodations tax is the bottom of the problem here. Because of its being so low, the public does feel like that they're subsidizing any tourism budget. So raising the accommodations tax will, I think, will relieve that socioeconomic discord between those two groups. And the town has compelling reason to want to monetize off of tourism because we have a lot of long-term sea level rise projects that are necessary at this point to keep us out of the Miles River.
Yeah,
So we really should be thinking about how to how to monetize off tourism better than we are right now.
yeah.
Hmm.
Well, listen, first of all, thank you for putting your hat in the ring. It gives me encouragement to see so many people running and caring about St. Michael's. And I guess I'll see you on Monday for the League of Women Voters discussion.
For sure.
Thank you, Brian.
Okay, thank you, Dave.
See you soon.
All right, thanks, Mr. Dave. All right.